For those who have witnessed a wedding objection during the speak now or forever hold your peace portion, what happened? About 5 years ago, a coworker of mine invited all of us to his wedding. He was a great guy, but none of us had ever met his wife, seen pictures of her, and he always said nothing but good things of her. Fast forward to the wedding. It was an incredibly nice one. Looks like they paid quite a bit for it. Everything was going smooth, and I was having fun, and assumed so was everyone else. Anyway, now they are both at the altar, or whatever, looking deeply into each other's eyes, and smiling, and when that line comes of speak now or forever hold your peace, I get anxious, but nothing ever happens. So right as soon as the anxiousness faded away, the bride's mother stood up and objected. Blurted some shit about how she doesn't want to continue their family with a man like him. He was black, she was white. The bride-to-be cried, ran off. Wedding went ducking silent. Bride's dad took the mom and ran after the bride. The groom stood there incredibly awkward. He may or may not have achieved actually leaving his body. Anyway, the groomsmen took him away. I left because it was too weird. Apparently, the reception went on. They did not get married that day, but ended up together anyway privately, and surprisingly work wasn't weird. He laughed about it, and they are happily married. Edit. Just so I don't have to individually reply to everyone's comments and questions. The mill never truly stated it was because he was black, but this guy was incredibly nice, selfless, and just someone who you completely felt comfortable around. Never judged anyone either, and well spoken. The mill also never showed signs of hating him. Who knows why it happened? Maybe the bride and groom found out. I'm not sure. I since moved and haven't spoken to them. But man, does that memory last. Well, good for them. I'm sad they let that stop their wedding, but glad the party went on. What a horrible family she has. A wedding I was at, one guy got up and pledged his undying love for the bride, followed by 4 or 5 others objecting for various reasons, including one guy's love for the groom. By the second or third objection, though, it was clear that the whole thing was a clever ruse. I found out later that it was all set up by the bride as a prank on the unsuspecting groom and family and friends. It was pretty hilarious. The best man at my stepsister's wedding did this. It happened at the rehearsal the night before. It was a very large wedding, and the rehearsal was bigger than a lot of weddings. The minister was going over the vows quickly while giving instruction on what to do. When he said something about objections, the best man interrupted, saying he had to put a stop to this. He was in love with the bride and was sure she felt the same way. My sister and everyone else was horrified. It caused plenty of chaos and confusion. As far as I know, after that neither the bride nor groom ever spoke to him again. So worse man. HMM. My wife dragged me to a wedding that I did not want to be at years ago, but I'm forever grateful that she did, because I was able to witness one of the greatest spectacles of human drama that has ever taken place. This was like an episode of Jerry Springer mixed with Cops. Bride's lover spoke up at that moment and yelled, "I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and let you steal my woman, you sorry piece of shit." This deranged old redneck proceeds to come at the groom with a pistol, threatening to shoot him if he doesn't give her up. It wasn't a huge wedding, maybe 40 or so people, but every single one of them went screaming and running, and maybe 2 people stayed and called the cops. I grabbed my wife's hand and we retreated outside to watch the rest of the scene unfold from the church window. So, what happened? Was Pistol Redneck arrested? Did the bride visit him in jail? He was arrested for unlicensed weapon and assault, because at one point he'd put the gun back in its holster and just started shoving the groom. The bride was a total witch about the whole thing. Cared more about the fact that a special day was ruined than the batshit spectacle that she caused. I think brandishing the weapon or threatening to use it is usually assault all by itself. Groom's dad interrupted the wedding to ask the bride's father whether or not she was truly a virgin. Then he went on about how he didn't know anything of the wedding and blah blah blah. Truly weird and embarrassing. I was there with an ex-boyfriend. Edit. He is my ex-boyfriend. When the groom's father interrupted the wedding, the bride's father officiating the wedding did in fact say it was confirmed. I have no clue how or what. They seemed to be super conservative and wore sleeved dresses, long hair, etc. and were Afro-American. They eventually showed the father-in-law out and continued with the ceremony, which was super awkward afterwards. It was literally as if I was on Pranked. Said ex seemed to find the ordeal entertaining because she was humiliated. This was his family bride and that sort of sealed the deal. Something was wrong with the guy. We broke up a week later. It is worse if father of the bride could actually answer that question accurately. I was working at a wedding when I was younger. I was running the bar at the reception, which was very close to the hall the weddings were at. We were told that the reception would begin around 4 PM. It was already about 3-ish, and I was packing fridges, the usual barman things, while one of the male guests was still sitting there drinking. I asked if he was not joining the reception, to which he replied something along the lines of "when I have the courage." He downs his drink and leaves. 10 minutes later he's back, looking extremely disappointed. Guy orders a drink, and less than 30 seconds later another guy who's dressed extremely well, turned out to be the groom, walks in, punches him in the back of the head, and leaves. This dude just picked his drink up and sipped it further. I eventually found out that this dude had downed at his drink, walked into the receptions down, admitted to sleeping with the wife on her hen night, and again the night before the wedding. He was never invited to the wedding. He just felt the groom needed to know. So he found out where the wedding was, sweeted up and dropped the info mid-ceremony. Props to him for honesty at least. And for getting dressed in a suit to do it. At least he respected the ceremony. I went to a wedding when I was 5. It was between my older brother and his fiancée anyways. They said the whole speak now spieland. Right before he was done, little 5-year-old me said "I object." And everyone turned to me. I was dead silent because I didn't know what would happen. My dad asked me, "Well, why do you object?" And I said I did not know what would happen if I did, and I was promptly seated. Are they still together? A friend of the couples in cosplay armor, think Master Chief, ran in, asked the date, said "then I'm not too late," pointed a big fake Spassi rifle at the bride, and said "Mother of the Xenocide, the fruit of thy womb will never destroy my planet. Die." Not her name. And the groom went, "Her name is her name." Seriously? Seriously? This is date. Yes. Time. Yes. Almost right. Location? Oh, no. You want other, very similar location. One so commonly confused the invitations had mentioned it. Oh. My bad. Have a nice day. Theater majors, man. I do not even. That's funny, but I cringed. At my own wedding. But not in the traditional way. We were getting married along a river at the end of summer and tons of wakeboarders and boats were out. I was a ball of nerves and the ceremony felt so serious. When all of a sudden some dude bro on a boat blasting music screamed, "Don't do it, bro," and sped off. It was actually hilarious and made the rest of the ceremony a lot more fun. My husband and I cracked up, even though his brothers looked like they were about to jump in the river after the guy. On mobile. Sorry for formatting issues. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more curated daily Reddit stories.